Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time, we recruited yet another child character, Lawrence, Muriel's equally logical son. This time, we're gonna continue to take out the child paralogue, so let's go. Might as well check out what a couple of these merchants are selling. The shop in the Desert Oasis just basically sells relatively simple magic. Let's see, you have a rescue staff and a second seal. You have armor slash, short axe, speed wing's okay, but the rest of those items are a little not that great for this point in the game. Anyway, we did get a lot of support in the last chapter, mostly through Lawrence, but we actually unlocked a few others. Owain and Lissa C, Tiki and Lucina C, and Mary Sue and Gary Stu B. So, a lot of supports here. I'm actually going to save some of these for the next video because, yeah, it would take too long to go through all of them now. So, time for some... Well, get ready for lots of big words, let's just say.
Excuse me.
I wouldn't have really thought Muriel would be the kind of person to drink.
Yes.
An extremely strong spirit, breath of dragons. That doesn't sound healthy.
I see.
No.
Yes, it was intended for setting on fire.
Well, I feel edified.
Muriel feels edified by setting things on fire. That's kind of good to know. Maybe one of the reasons I paired her with Frederick in my first playthrough. So apparently this kind of alcohol burns blue. I'm a little worried about what that kind of alcohol would do to you if it burns a weird color. Blue flames are actually kind of interesting because they have a significance in the Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn games. But here it's probably just a coincidence.
Intriguing.
Very well.
So, just mother and son doing some scientific experiments together, not that much to it.
Excuse me.
Once again, most child supports with their fathers are generic for the most part. There's at least one change in this one, but, yeah.
Beg pardon.
Simply put,
It's kind of funny because this conversation is almost seems to be lampshade hanging the, yeah, the fact that children don't take after their fathers very much due to the whole children being tied to mothers thing. So what did he inherit?
Yes.
indeed.
And yet another lampshade hanging of the game mechanics, which is quite funny. Well, I mean, you inherited his classes and stat caps as well. I'm wondering what a lot of the other parents would say here. Obviously, every possible father says something slightly different here. I'm wondering what some of the weirder ones would say, like Henry or Gregor. Although, admittedly, someone who's studying the mysteries of the world might be interested in old chapels. There are probably a lot of, yeah, secrets of ancient civilizations there.
A logical result.
That line's probably really ironic if his father's Rickhan. Now, this is interesting, and this is probably the thing that most stands out to me about Muriel's son.
Yes.
He claims to be older than Lucina. But yeah, as Libra deduces here, Lucina's already been born, but Laurent hasn't. How is he older than Lucina then? We'll have to wait until we unlock higher supports to find out. It's probably the most interesting thing to me about Laurent, personally. And out of these others, I plan on using Mary Sue and Morgan in the next chapter, so I may as well do their B support.
Huh?
This support's pretty funny, though.
Hey.
Oh, Gary Stu, I know what you're up to.
Yeah.
And so does your mother.
Whoa.
It's simple. What?
Well, Mary Sue is perfect at everything. She, of course, wins games of Find the Book immediately.
Well. Right. Yeah.
Yes, once again, Mary Sue's Sherlock Holmes levels of scanning take into, yeah, they work here.
Huh?
My guess is Mary Sue's book of quote-unquote strategy is actually a copy of My Immortal. That would be amazing. Anyway, though, I'll leave the next 2 supports for the next chapter, because we've already done 3 here. So, well, we've done quite a lot lately. Let's have a rest in the nice, peaceful, verdant forest. Surely nothing bad could happen here. Wings of Justice, huh? For some reason, I get this feeling that that title sounds familiar to me, and yet something's not right here. But anyway, at the Verdant Forest we find ourselves in an exact replica of the town from the prologue chapter of the game. I think it must be a long-standing custom in the Fire Emblem universe to build exact replicas of all of your villages, just in case, you know, when bandits inevitably destroy one of them, you have a spare. So yeah, let's just relax and have some good food. Sounds just like the prologue chapter, doesn't it? Okay.
What?
Well, Chrom pretty much summed it up. That was strange.
What? Huh?
Yeah, people in this area don't seem to be too fond of Chrom.
My lord.
Well, that's interesting.
Really? Ah.
Well, I guess we've got a fight on our hands. Meanwhile, this guy isn't even trying to disguise himself as Chrom. I kind of wish they had given this guy a unique portrait, you know, made him look at least look like he was attempting to look like Chrom. It's kind of annoying.
Mission complete.
But here we have Chrom's daughter. Wait, what? 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 Wait. I'm confused. This is Chrom's daughter, and yet she's not meant to exist. What is happening? Cynthia, you're not supposed to. I mean, Mary Sue killed your mother. But it's strange. It feels like, did she come back from the same future as the others, or
Right.
a different future entirely?
Right.
Well, whoever she is, she seems convinced that this guy is actually Chrom.
Sorry.
Yeah, strange that she'd be convinced this guy is her own father. Wait, I mean, what am I saying? Of course he isn't her father, because she doesn't exist, and her mother's dead, and Mary Sue is the best character in the history of everything, and I have no idea what's going on here anymore.
Oh. All right.
Well, whoever she is, this guy's going to use her as bait. Well, she does hail from the future, but is it the same future as the rest of the children? She seems to be pretty dead set about attacking us. But is it Chrom she's after, or someone else?
Just try me.
I get the feeling that she's not directing that statement at Chrom, but at the other person who is standing here. Well, whoever she is, we're gonna have to be fighting her, and a whole bunch of other bandits who are, well, their levels are... Okay, this is probably one of the easier paralogs that has promoted enemies. It's still kind of tough, though. Most of them are level 3 to 5 promoted, but unlike, yeah, a lot of the others, I'm pretty sure Muriel's was the last one where we'll see unpromoted enemies. So, from here on out, every paralog, every chapter is gonna have all promoted enemies, and, oh hey, this hero has Zeal, which means he must have promoted from Fighter, not Mercenary. Interesting. Yeah, this Berserker has Wrath. Wrath can be kind of a difficult skill to deal with sometimes, but Berserkers have such a low skill stat in this game that they actually don't critical very much anyway, so Wrath isn't too much of an issue. Of course, all the enemies here have silver weapons, not forged ones though. We also have a rare glimpse of an enemy War Cleric. You see them as risen sometimes, but very rarely do you see actual living ones. She has a physics staff, which we might want to get that off of her before she heals too many of the enemies. Now, there are also a bunch of level 8 promoted enemies up here, but they're neutral at the moment. Some of them won't be neutral for long, though. This is an interesting feature of this chapter. Speaking of interesting features of this chapter, we have Ruger, the terrible Chrom impersonator here. He's actually very unique among Fire Emblem bosses for reasons that we're going to find out kind of soon. He does have Lucky 7 though, so he's got a lot of evasion and movement +1. That is going to be an annoying skill to deal with eventually. He's got a large bullion, so we want to actually manage to take him out. Why did I say that like that's not a certainty? You'll find out. Anyway, I think we've already used Tiki a bit last chapter, so I'll not include her, but Muriel and Libra's son just joined, so I might want to bring him, even though he's woefully underleveled for this chapter. I'll just have him snipe maybe 1 or 2 kills here. And, yeah, I'll bring his parents, obviously. I think these two have already had a bit of screen time lately, as have Lissa and Owain. I do want to bring Mary Sue and Morgan, because Mary Sue seems like she has something to prove in this chapter for some reason. Now, I haven't used Stully in quite a while, so let's bring Stull, Sully, and Chell. I have given her a Master Seal because she's pretty much one fight off of promoting, so we'll see that when that happens. Now, 3 more characters that we can pick here. And I already have quite a few mages here, so I'm not going to bring Ricken and Maribel because that would kind of be overkill. I haven't used Donald since he promoted, so I'll bring him, and Noe... Noe really needs to catch up to Tiki, she really, really does. Just look at the comparison in the stats. Those stats are just... They're decent for Noe, but Tiki's starting stats are just so insane that she kind of leaves her in the dust, at least for now. Noe will probably be better eventually, but that'll take a while. 1 more deployment slot here, and when we have an extra deployment slot, why not use it on Olivia? She is always worth it. Now to, yeah, change around positions. On this side, we have a bunch of powerful enemies. Here we have a bunch more powerful enemies. Now, in this chapter, it can be kind of difficult because all of these enemies will sort of rush you all at once, and it can be hard to deal with. But for the moment, I want to put Donald and Noe here so they can tank these enemies on this side. Now, a lot of axe users over here, and only 1 lance user, so having the sword users on this end might be helpful. But I kind of want to put Sully and her kid over here, to lure some of these guys, because Lancers will be more effective here with the heroes, although we still have to watch out for that Warrior and the Berserker and a couple of Snipers. Yeah, quite a lot of tough enemies on this side. Also, I'm going to put Mary Sue and Gary Stu over here, because for some reason Mary Stu demanded that she be put over this side of the map. Also, Stahl needs to be as close to this end. Want to put Lucina over there, because her sword will be effective against those Berserkers, and it'll give someone for Chrom to partner up with. And, okay, Libra... I'm pretty sure I'm fine with Laurent just over there, Muriel there, Libra there. I think we're pretty much ready to start this chapter. So, let's go. So here's the gimmick of this chapter. Those neutral units up there, they're not going to stay neutral for very long. And I'm going to go ahead and make a save point here. So, we're going to start this chapter by doing a couple of pair-ups, as we always do. Now, the toughest part about this chapter is the initial rush of enemies. If you do this, I mean, if you advance quite far, although these guys are basically right in your range from the start, so generally speaking, you will probably get attacked quite early. Now, I'm having Lucina go over here for those axe users there, although if you're playing this chapter normally, you don't want Chrom to go over this side. You want Chrom on the other side. But this is not a normal playthrough. This is Mary Sue's horrible fanfiction, and thus Chrom's not going anywhere near this side of the map. Now, these woods here are quite good for their +1 defense and for the extra evasion they give. Trying to think if... See, some of these heroes have axes, so equipping a lance is not always the best option there. I actually want Sully to gain some levels, because she's quite under-leveled as far as my promoted characters are going. Also equipping this for the +2 on defense. And Stahl there for extra support, I guess, and equip the Silver Sword. I gave him a Silver Sword because steel weapons aren't really going to cut it at this point. Now, putting Gary Stu here, he's usually fine. I also gave him an Arcfire Tome because his L-Fire is nearly broken. And, yeah, moving them somewhere where they can't get attacked by too many enemies, because I want to set up in a position where Laurent can get a couple of snipes, but not to the point where, well, he just, like, dies. Also, why not just do a random dance here?
Very gracious of you.
For a level up. I don't know if I've mentioned outside of the character bios, but Dancer can actually reach a maximum level of 30 instead of 20. Now, normally I would be fine with sniping enemies over this rubble here, but these snipers, I don't really want Laurent to get hit by too many of them, so I think I'm fine as is. Now, here's the main gimmick of this map. The stupid boss is going to run around and talk to these stupid mercenaries who are so stupid that they believe that he is Chrom and will join his side. Kind of funny that they're actually doing that. It's like a... Finally, enemies are actually being able to recruit people. Interesting. But yeah, those NPCs will be neutral no longer and will in fact be your enemies. However, pay attention to what the boss was saying there.
Just as planned.
The enemies that he recruits, the NPCs he recruits. Also, I can replace the concoction that I have with an elixir. The enemies that he recruits to his side will not actually charge you until you cross a certain point of the map, and the game is nice enough to tell you what that point is. So I'll be talking about that once we actually get there. I can't believe I didn't really know. I mean, the first time I played this chapter when I was first playing the game, I didn't really know about that, and I think I had a lot more trouble with this chapter than you're meant to. And why is everyone going stacks on Gary Stu? Yes, you can survive for 1 HP, but that is just the Sues toying with you before they enact your brutal demise. Yeah, that's the guy I was worried about, although 36% is not that bad of a hit rate for a weapon triangle disadvantage. Okay, good. A couple more dual strikes and Shell will actually be leveled up here. The actual reason why I equipped the range tome on Gary Stu is I wanted to try and take out as many of these enemies on the enemy phase as possible.
Time to even the odds.
Gary Stu seems to be burning with a fire of hatred in this chapter for some reason. I wonder why.
Success.
Yeah, thinning out the enemies here on their first turn is a good idea, because otherwise on the second turn you'll have to deal with a huge amount of enemies.
Game over. Farewell.
Farewell, you have burned to the ground. And one more enemy to
I'll cover you.
attempt to slate Gary Stu's bloodlust, but it cannot be stopped, for Gary Stu will destroy everything.
Just as planned.
He will kill them all with fire. Never seen Morgan get that much speed before, though. Meanwhile, on the other flank, now in my practice run, I got a lot of dual guards here, and that's not a good sign. Okay, did I equip the silver sword with Donnie? I think I did. I'm not sure. I might not have.
You ain't allowed.
It's kind of annoying that Noe isn't really doubling at this point. See, that's why she needs to catch up with Tiki a bit. I could have traded her over the Dragonstone Plus, but I don't think this chapter really warrants that kind of firepower. Okay, now hopefully Lucina Ethers here and gets that health back.
Face me.
Also, 2 foul shots in one battle, time paradox. Also, I think I cut her off there, but you may have heard that line Lucina just said, "Our bonds are strong." See, that is what they should have translated Chrom's line that became "Thanks, friend" as. That, in the Japanese version, the line that he said there more generically just referred to bonds, and that would have fit for every context. It would have fit for his wife, it would have fit with his children, but
Thank you.
no, they had to translate it as "Thanks, friend" and have him friend zone, or Chrom zone as I call it, everyone. Yeah, kind of annoying that. No, he's fine, she's fine. What's not fine is Donald not dual striking, because he usually does there. Now, this Great Knight here, I have actually had him survive the lunar portion of Lucina's ether once before.
I say when it ends.
I don't think he's going to survive this, though. But yeah, surviving the lunar half of ether, and that's actually a pretty amazing thing to do, so props to this guy for doing that in one of my other runs of this chapter. Stupid physics stuff, Valkyrie. Not Valkyrie, whatever. War Cleric. So you're saying Valkyries because you don't often see War Clerics as enemies. Now, what's really annoying is these NPCs will never actually do anything to help you, so all they're there for is to be potential recruits for the enemy. The faster you get to the boss, the less of them you'll have to worry about. But for now, we want to worry about these guys, because there are quite a lot of them. Also, this character who... my head! Why do I feel like they're important somehow? I know them. They have to be important. They have to... Wait, Mary Sue, what are you doing? What do you got there, Mary Sue? What are you doing with that tome?
Here's how it's done.
Mary Sue, what are you... What are you...
No, this can't.
Well, whoever they were, they've now been slain by Mary Sue. So, I guess we'll never find out. Now, I'll go take Shell here and try and get rid of one of these enemies. I think this guy.
You up for this?
Yeah.
And she's now maxed on her level. What will I promote her to? You'll have to wait and see, and she usually gets speed on that level up. Now, Sully, meanwhile, can... I hope that if I do this, Shell will be fine on her own. I mean, she's got pretty good defense, and I'll hopefully take out as many of these guys as I can now. Transfer Stahl over, so I can basically... Actually, I don't think I needed to transfer Stahl. You can't transfer twice in one turn, though. Although, if, and I won't get the both of us to dual strike because Sully will kill this guy in one hit. Probably should have kept Stahl on Shell, actually. I'm used to, in one of my attempts of this chapter, Sully actually died, so I thought she needed the pair-up bonuses, but this Berserker ended up a lot weaker than... Why are you not gaining speed? Really weird. Now, I would very much like an Ether here.
That's one.
Come on, Ether in honor of your fallen potential sister. Wait, what am I saying?
Bonds are strong.
What's happening to my head? I feel like someone's manipulating the strands of fate here, and I just can't realize it. Now, I think I have to switch over to Donnell here. And I was still equipping the steel sword.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Now we just have to make sure that we survive this onslaught of a few more enemies. One of them is actually in range of Muriel, though. But I can't really afford to move... Oh, and Olivia. I need to get Olivia out of there now. I could try to send Libra over there, but I don't think that's the best course of action here. Yeah, not really. It's not like he's going to get doubled by any of these enemies, but... Just have to stay cautious. Will he survive 2 silver bows from these snipers? Possibly. Although, who am I kidding? I could just use the physics staff. That's why I traded it over to him, after all. Now, I need to be careful because... I don't want too many of these enemies to attack Muriel if possible. And that guy usually doesn't get it this quickly. So if I lock in the ranges of everyone who isn't... Okay, that should be fine. They'll only get hit by 1 sniper. And that 1 sniper will not actually double Lawrence, so maybe I'm safe switching over to him. And then I can dance for Libra and then bring him back in range of Laurent for the... Although in that case, that sniper will probably go and attack Libra because of, yeah, because of the whole gang up on the person who can't counter mentality that the AI loves doing. Once we survive this initial onslaught... Now, who's he recruiting here? Oh, he recruited the Great Knight, not the Paladin. Interesting.
All right.
Meanwhile, Mary Sue has to stay here and think about what she just did.
Now that's strategy.
But she's, well, seems to be relishing it.
I'm right here. Not on my watch.
Time to tip the scale.
Mary Sue knows none can defy her at this point.
Thanks.
Would have preferred those enemies ganged up on Shell, but... Well, actually, wait, no, what am I saying? Why would I prefer that? She can't get any more experience. Thinking too far ahead, because she's going to be promoted next turn. And no level up from Chrom. But yeah, one sniper attacks there. And the second sniper... Well, firstly, this Berserker is going to be an idiot. But yeah, enemies always go for the most possible damage regardless of hit rate, so he's going to be like, oh hey, I'll do the most damage I can to Donnie, and well, he has no hit chance, but the enemy doesn't really know that. Not sure why after so many Fire Emblem games they haven't really fixed that.
You must persevere.
Yeah, that's not gonna... Okay, dodging is good though. And dual striking is even better.
My thanks.
Lauren's close to upgrading, and he's already got, his stats are almost on Muriel's level, and he's unpromoted. Okay, that's good. That War Cleric didn't use an extra use of her staff, so I can hopefully grab that at 9 uses, which is very good. Let's see, though. Would a dual strike here be too much to ask? Come on, Muriel.
Vanished immediately. Oh, if I may.
There we go.
Superb technique.
I'll say so. In fact, if I danced for him... Here's where Olivia can be really useful.
My thanks.
Well, I mean, not that I need to justify that now. Yeah, I don't think he'll be... And he can't reach. But maybe... Or not, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Well, that's actually really annoying. That is really, really annoying. And I have to kill that War Cleric this turn because otherwise she'll just keep wasting uses of that staff. Well, I guess I'll have... Okay, let's see if Noe can... Okay, let's at least go for this. Hopefully I don't crit at Noe dual strikes. That'll be the best outcome here.
Over here.
There we go. 1 HP, really? And get used to seeing those triple zeros a lot when Donnie fights things at this... And that wasn't enough experience for a level up, really? Well, the initial onslaught is basically over, although there is one more group of enemies up here that we want to lure and get rid of as soon as we can. This group of enemies does have a Bolganone Sage, who can be kind of tough, but, let's see. Firstly, Shell is going to go over here, and being level 20, although I mean, you don't have to wait till level 20 for most of the children, but I'm just doing it because I like doing that. Now, she can promote to either Great Knight or General. Now, in most of my playthroughs, I promote her to General because she's one of the, well, I think she and Kellum are the only two, yeah, they're the only two Armor Knights in the game, and I always like promoting them to Generals. The thing is, in honor of her supports with Sully, I actually kind of feel like I want to promote her to Great Knight and actually let that tutoring and writing actually mean something for gameplay. So, it's Great Knight time. Great Knight also means slightly more speed and a more offensive skill rather than a defensive one, and I think she needs the offense boost because she doesn't double that often, so I'd like to get this skill on her. Usually I have style pass it down, but I'm not over-leveling too much in this playthrough. And she still keeps her purple armor, which is cool, and gets access to the full weapon triangle. Speaking of Stahl, I'll transfer Stahl over to her because I want him to get a bit of experience too now. Meanwhile, Mary Sue and Gary Stu are evenly leveled. The end is nigh. Alright, I already wasted Olivia's turn there. That's annoying, but don't really need to heal this turn either. And he's recruiting again. He always says the same thing.
Careful now.
This ends here. Huh?
Well, that's
Why even try?
definitely a good first fight for, first fight after promoting. Definitely a good start.
Look out. And one for me.
Oh, left on 2 HP. That's annoying. Well, at least he's getting more defense than Sully. Although, with his daughter now as the same class as him, he's kind of going to be overshadowed a lot. That's kind of the thing with second-generation characters. They generally always tend to be better than their parents. I've been told that someone in the comments said that's possibly one of the only pairings in this entire game where this game isn't like Fire Emblem 4, where it's possible to make some of the children absolutely terrible if you screw things up. But I've been told that one of the only pairings where the child might possibly be worse than their parents is, well, not strangely enough, it in a way sort of makes sense, is Sully and Frederick. It gives Shell pretty terrible caps, at least compared to her other options. And passes down no additional classes. Yeah, you really have to try to find pairings that make the children bad in this game. Unlike in Fire Emblem 4, like I was saying, where you could make some of the kids completely worthless with if you really screwed up your pairings. Basically, in that game, what would happen is, because the growth rates of the children were so closely tied to their parents, it was very possible to give a mage child a non-magic parent, and that usually ended up very, very badly. Speaking of ending up badly, actually going to go ahead and go for the safer terrain here. I sort of want that Sage gone because he does the most damage to our more defensive units.
Game over.
Again, Gary Stu just seems burdened with hatred for some reason. Maybe it was relating to that character we saw that doesn't exist. My head! Few more enemies to... now this would be a good opportunity for... if Lucina could use a javelin here, it would be really, really appreciated. But at the moment, not really. And using an arm scroll would use up her turn, so I can't do that. I don't think this will be enough movement to reach, but this is probably the best use of Olivia that I can do this turn, so... yeah, not enough to reach. Let's see if we get that 50% dual strike, though. Come on, you can do it, Shell.
Too easy.
Yep, too easy. Like you said. And now I want you gone.
No worries.
We're almost through the worst of this chapter. Didn't get a dual strike there, but that's not really that big of a loss. And we can sort of take our time here. Silver Sword, though. That's not a good thing for Libra. I might have to actually use the Physics Staff. Because I kind of want to heal Noe. And level up. His growths are pretty decent overall. Okay, one more, that's 4 of them. I like to at least attempt to save as many of those mercenaries as possible. Because this is a route chapter, you actually do have to fight them if he does convert them to the enemy side. You know, it would be interesting if you could talk to them back with the real Chrom and actually turn them back into neutral units again. But I guess that may have been too complicated. Anyway, though, we only have one more enemy left here before... Okay, hopefully I can actually get Laurent over with Olivia. Arc Thunder is a little risky here, but I'll go for it.
Mind yourself.
Oh, and of course, yeah. I was asking for that. I was pretty much asking for that. I mean, I really can't complain about that one. I was asking for it. No dual strike, but that's kind of fine. Yeah, just circle around and we only... Wait a minute, that's not going to do enough. About to say we only needed...
Hardly a fair match.
Yeah, getting good speed as well as good defense. That really shows her stat specialties. Now, this is the point that I was talking about where you can kind of take your time here. Because I skipped over his dialogue, unfortunately, but the boss basically says, wait until they've cleared the rubble, then charge at them. What this means is that the enemies that he's recruiting, they won't actually attack you until you cross this invisible line between these ruins here. Once you cross these ruins, then they'll all charge at you. And because of that, it's actually quite easy to set up a nice ambush. Provided that you don't cross that line, you can actually set up just in front of the line and get ready to rush in and basically ambush everyone before they have a chance to hit you first. This is actually really, really helpful here. Especially because there's something about this boss that you kind of need to know. Once you cross the line, all of the mercenaries that he's recruited will charge at you. While the boss himself, and this is actually a massive rarity in terms of Fire Emblem bosses, he will attempt to flee the map and get away scot-free. If you, well, are like me and just, you know, want to get as much experience out of it and get, you know, the full... I couldn't really consider this map complete without the boss defeated. I mean, it just feels wrong to have him escape because, you know, you're letting this boss get away. One of the few Fire Emblem chapters where you can actually, well... In a lot of them you can skip fighting the boss. In fact, considering that in this game the only 2 victory objectives are defeat boss and route, I think this may be one of the only chapters in the game where you can actually skip the boss. But there are a lot of like defend chapters in Fire Emblem where you can sort of skip the boss if you wait them out. But in this case, you can skip the boss just by being too slow. However, said boss has now put himself perfectly in range of us. So, and I can't believe that the first time I played this chapter, I actually had to restart several times because the boss got away. But here, I know just to wait until he's got into a good position, and then charge him! Now, he does have a lot of speed, and he is very difficult to double, so... I may actually, because how fitting would it be for the real Chrom to actually finish him off? He might need a little help from Lucina in order to do so, though. What I want is, by the time that we actually rush in, I want to take out as many of these enemies as I can, so that they don't all, you know, fall on us like an avalanche, as the boss claimed. So the moment that you even attack them, they're all going to basically trigger their rush mode, so at this point it doesn't matter whether we've crossed the line or not. But hopefully, the boss will actually be gone this turn, and most of these enemies will be as well. So we won't be in too much danger. Also, now that he's not, like, maxed everything, we finally get to see Donnie's aptitude be awesome again. Like, as much as I want to do that, it's kind of suicide with all of the other enemies around here. Yeah, this guy can double you quite easily due to his massive speed. So, see, Lucina doubles him, but I really want Chrom to do this. Wait a minute, can Chrom pull out a better sword from the convoy? Let's try that. Why haven't I given the Noble Rapier to anyone? I am stupid, I should have done that ages ago. Okay, we have silver swords in here, and the Brave Sword is still on Cyree. Actually, wait. Okay, looks like you can only access the convoy once per turn. Oh, I don't think there are any killing edges in there. Okay, let's at least try this. Sadly, the Imposter does not actually have a battle conversation with Chrom, another missed opportunity for this guy. So, as he said, this guy is going to try and flee the map if he gets the chance.
Forget about me.
But, karmic justice, he has been taken out by the real Chrom. If you had been a prince, you would have had to deal with being constantly targeted by the enemy AI, because if you died, it'd be game over. But yeah, he's gone. That was easy. Yeah, normally, I can't believe that in most of my... I still keep saying this, but I still can't believe that in most of my earlier attempts of this chapter, like in my original file when this game first came out, I actually had him get away almost every time.
Time to even the odds.
I can't believe I didn't just discover this really easy trick of just lying in wait. Anyway, all that's left is to finish off these mercenaries that were sadly swayed to his side. Really, I mean, again, technically speaking, all of these guys should just immediately turn green again now that he's gone, but... oh well, I guess he hired them for the long haul. Now, the Dark Knight is gone, so... and I might be able to do some clever switching here. Let's just hope for a Dual Strike, though.
Let's do this.
Come on, Dual Strike. And nope. Oh well. Because with that, I can do a handover. And at this point, I actually need to trade her short spear over so I can even get at these guys. He has the silver sword equipped. I think he might actually need the killing edge here. I'm actually going to go for this Great Knight just because 2 hits means 2 chances of a style dual strike, so I probably have the biggest chance of one-rounding this guy. And he dual strikes on neither of them! Are you serious? That is appalling luck. Really appalling luck. That is just absolutely... there are no words for that. That is really, really bad luck. Okay, how many of these guys can potentially hit? Oh, it's that Bow Knight, isn't it? I've given him a giant straight corridor. But over there is apparently safe from him. Though honestly, I really shouldn't be taking risks here because, let's just say that any experience that I actually gain here might not end up counting. Anybody else need physics stuff? Let's just do this. Yay, extra experience. And of course, they're all magnetized to Chrom. See, I still wish that, yeah, that Chrom himself could actually talk to them and say, hey, I'm the real Chrom, not that guy. Fight for me instead. And double level up. Yeah, Lucine is still outclassing him despite being lower level than he is. That there was exactly what I was going for. Okay, that's good.
My thanks.
Gonna have to try and recreate these good Laurent level ups.
You're all right. Come on.
For now, though,
Thank you.
Mary Sue and her progeny reign triumphant. Yeah, I had a feeling that one would attack
By
Chrom.
your side.
And if this was a Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn chapter, you'd probably get extra bonus experience for every one of the mercenaries that were still alive. Oh, this chapter's going to go on for one more turn because of that Silver Sword breaking. Yeah, you'd probably get extra bonus experience for them being alive, and I'm glad that he didn't end up recruiting the Luna guy, because that could have been difficult to deal with. Just a quick heal. And a quick dance. And a quick finish.
What now?
And with that, the chapter is over, and how fitting that Mary Sue is the hero of this one.
Ah.
This line seems to imply that you didn't actually kill any of those mercenaries that got recruited to the enemy side, you just wounded them. I wish you had some line like that for Chapter 10, because that would make that a whole lot less painful.
Right. Right.
Yeah, well, NPCs are probably dumb enough not to realize anyway. So, with that done, of course, I'm going to go back and actually recruit that character from this chapter, because I'm not one to finish a playthrough without getting everyone. They will be treated as if they don't exist, though, and thus will not be participating in combat at all. I'm also going to tack on a bit of bonus material, because I really want to show off just what Chrom's recruitment with this character looks like when she's his daughter, because it is one of my favourite conversations in this entire game. So in another universe, where Mary Sue had not horribly murdered Sumia and erased this character from existence, if Chrom is her father, this is probably one of the Chrom parent-child recruitments that is the most changed out of all of them. So, the only one that's almost as changed as this one is the one with Olivia's child, but this one is just amazing, so I had to show this off. This is one of my favourite conversations in the game, and yeah, another reason why I like the Chrom and Sumia pairing.
Listen.
Who do you think you are?
What?
Oh, I love Chrom's lines here.
Huh?
And I love that Cynthia actually has a nickname for her sister. Well, that's because of genericness. Any of 5 characters could be her sibling, so she obviously can't mention it for plot reasons.
Huh?
Yeah, see,
That and the fact that he didn't have blue hair, he didn't have the falchion, he just generally didn't even look like Chrom at all. And this is why I love this conversation so much.
Hey,
Oh, this is amazing. Um, if I ever meet Matthew Mercer at a convention, I'm gonna ask him to read out this conversation. Because I'd really love to hear just because I can imagine how this would be delivered. Chrom would just be so like, oh, do I really have to do this? I love that conversation so much. Yeah, yeah, this isn't fake laughing. I'm actually laughing right now. I love that conversation. I really, really love that conversation. And, okay, we might as well actually, let's see if we can actually get a combat in. Also, don't ask why Chrom's a paladin here. This is my ridiculously overgrinded file. I just did this to speed as quickly as possible through this chapter. Now, an ether right about now would be really nice.
it's all right.
Come on, ether.
This is the end, friend.
Perfect. Wait, is it just me, or does that sage have a female voice? Interesting. It really sounded like that sage had a female voice. I don't know if that's an oversight or not, but anyway, yeah. I really, really like this character as Chrom's daughter, if it wasn't obvious enough. But sadly, Mary Sue has erased her from history, so we're gonna have to forget this ever happened. Though I might show off at least what the end of the chapter conversation happens if you actually recruit her. Also, strangely enough, Cynthia does not have a special conversation with the boss of this chapter. Again, it's like they just kind of forgot to put it in there. I'm really not sure why. And in this version of events, we should be seeing a different conversation now. Yeah, so this is what would have happened if Mary Sue had not murdered Sumia and erased Cynthia from history.
Huh? Whew, thanks.
Yeah, the, gift from her father as far as names go was Pega Pony Princess, and he kinda doesn't like that.
What? Yeah, see...
And once again, the rings. And if Chrom's her father, that means it must be the royal ring of the House of Yillis, so there really would be only one of them.
Yes. Yep.
Well, that proves it.
Huh? No. Huh? Right.
So this is the first time we actually get one of the more tragic backstories of the child characters. Suffice to say, almost all of the parents are implied to have died in the bad future, but this is the first time that it's directly addressed.
Oh. No. Yes. Ah.
And Mary Sue prevented that heartwarming conversation from ever existing. But anyway, on the next episode, we'll be doing even more paralogs. This will be the last one, I promise, and then it's time to continue with the main story. So, see you next time.